So I'll definitely be in Trinidad one of these days. I promise my fans.
Oh yeah, definitely. We welcome you. Yeah.
And so here back home, we have actually um, issue of cholera cases saying we have received a reduction in numbers. So we may have to open schools come next Monday, as the Minister of Education was making some pronouncements earlier this morning. He made mention to say school management must make sure that the um, department that deals with sanitation and health make sure that the school premises are clean, the toilets are well cleaned, and the disinfectants are all in place in toilets and bathrooms. For those that are in boarding schools, make sure that the surrounding areas is cleaned up. No garbage should be thrown in school premises and areas. That everything should be taken out, and schools have the power and authority to call upon the municipal council of each district to come and collect um, debt whenever it has been powered at any school twice every week. So it has been given the mandate that school premises, whenever litter comes on, the municipal should go and collect litter from schools. Schools should not be having dust debt for more than a day or two in their premises. So far so good. We have a number of reduction in new cases of the cholera outbreak, meaning we have worked so hard. So, and one of the good things that has happened is that we had people that were volunteering to work at the cholera centers. The president has actually promised the people who are working as volunteers at the cholera centers that he will definitely employ them straightforward without even applications, just the names or anything. So it doesn't matter you are a qualified nurse or anything, you'll be given a position that will befit you in the Ministry of Health. So that's what is going around here in Zambia. Yeah, and in other news, in we have the president of Namibia was pronounced that he had died. Yeah, yesterday in the early hours. So we Africa and Zambia in general has sent a message of condolences to the people of Namibia for their loss.
Okay, well, that's some very sad news. I think someone sent it very early to me from South Africa. Was he the sitting president?
Yes, he is a sitting president, and from what we have gathered, it seems to he has been a very very good president from the time he has assumed office. He never tolerated any corruption in his regime, and so it seems there was one of the laws that was against. So anyway, that's just rumors. So we're not gonna talk about that even more regarding his death, unless we're gonna respect the family that are mourning the father, a husband, a uncle, a brother, to someone, maybe a grandfather. Yeah, so we just mourn with the people of Namibia. Zambia is mourning along because the former president also took to social media and posted some pictures that he took with him when they were signing some memorandum of understanding between Namibia and Zambia when he was president. And he highlighted some of the things that they achieved in both the countries. So he was aggrieved as well when he heard of his passing, and he also sent his message of condolences alongside that of the head of state, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, also, yeah, in a message of condolences. So Zambia mourns with the people of Namibia, and we send our love to our sisters, and that may God give them strength in this trying moment. So what do you think this loss for the Namibian president, for the Namibian people, will bring? Of course,
Well,
definitely 3 months after we expect an election, but a country has to lose a lot when we go into an AD elections or a by-election, the presidential by-elections. It's sad.
Well, not understanding the politics of the country, I do know this, that when you suddenly lose a president, the leader of your country, it definitely does affect everything. I'm sure they have a vice president that probably will be interim, and between his time of leadership and whenever they're going to set an election to actually choose president by the people of the people. It's probably a difficult um, situation for the country and for the citizens, but um, I think they will rally through. Hopefully, that there is a smooth transition of the leadership. It sounds like a stable country, and wish them all the best. I mourn with them. On the other hand, I think I got news this morning also. I think it's Nairobi had a new president this morning. I think he was sworn in recently or over the weekend. And now you have a new president. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. Um, but I got that information from another person coming out of South Africa this morning, telling me that Nairobi, I think they recently had elections, and now they have a president and vice president in Nairobi. So one is gone. And like I said, the world continues.
Nairobi, Kenya.
Hmm?
Okay. So that's interesting. Nairobi, Kenya has a new president who was recently sworn in. They had elections. Um,
Right.
any ideas of the majority vote and how much the vote was? Was it characterized by violence or it was non-violence elections?
Well, it didn't seem so to me. I really, based on what I'm trying to read, but yeah, but they do have a new president, and we want to wish him all the best. And we will be covering the news to see how he is faring and what leadership style he is going to adopt to carry his country forward. So we wish them all the best in that regard.
Yeah, we wish to congratulate the new president for Kenya, who was just recently sworn in, and a big congratulations for the peaceful translation um, and holding of the elections in Kenya, and the people in general for just voting. It's their democratic right. So it's a huge congratulations for both the president and the people of Kenya. Yeah, and though from the congratulations, we go into ish. Oh my God, pump prices of goods and services here has been increased. So now transport fares are up, and someone posted a chart on a Facebook page that is stating the prices of transport fares from one district to another and from one province to another, which are the major, major, major issues. And my goodness me, I couldn't believe that transport fare now from where I am, like from Kitwe or from Mufrira going to my place of origin, which is northern province in Namwanga, I have to spend 800 kwacha on a bus fare going alone, meaning I need to have a 1,600 plus to travel to go and from back. And
What do
the
you say?
local
800 kwacha to do what? How long is the distance?
travel from here, from where I am to my place of origin, which is the Namwanga land in northern province, going to Nakonde if I'm going
And
maybe
how
to
long?
get
How
some
long? How many hours does it take you to get there?
ish. If a bus starts off from here maybe around 15, we're gonna reach there tomorrow at about 12 hours.
800
That's
kwacha.
it. Yeah.
And what used to be the price before?
It used to be six.
So it's gone up by 200 kwachas.
Exactly. And the local fares, like from where I am, if I don't want to walk, I get a taxi. I was paying a 10 kwacha, but now I have to pay 13 kwacha.
Let me tell you, let me give you the wider picture about what's happening. Everything around the world right now is being affected by all these wars that you hear going on. Um, and what's driving prices up, even with receiving, stuff in the groceries and stuff like that and purchasing them, is as a result or part result of the fact that the ships that carry goods and services or, food items and stuff like that to different parts of the world, they have to go through a particular area to get to all of us. And there's seem to be a shortcut by passing through a particular area that takes away a lot of the shipping time if they go another route. So for hundreds of years, they've been passing through this particular area to get our food stuff and everything else to us in a shorter time. Thereby, the prices when it reach into the groceries and pass on to the public is at a certain price that people can afford. Because of the wars and I would say the the attacks on these ships in that area, bombing of these ships passing through this shortcut, this area that makes things they get to their destination faster. Ships are afraid to go through that area because these are not warships, these are not military ships, these are just ships, businesses that own these vessels and they're stocked with food and grain and all these different things. And now to get through to this area is troublesome because the ships are being bombed and shot at in retaliation to certain things that's going on between Israel and Hamas. And so now a lot of them, instead of going through this particular area, they have to go a different route, which takes them a much, much longer time to get to us or to you. And you ever hear the saying that says time is money? Well, time is certainly
Exactly.
money because the longer they take to get to their destination, the prices go up. And that is
Mm,
what's happening. And that spirals down into when these goods and services and everything else take that long to get to Zambia or to Trinidad or wherever it is,
mm,
transportation goes up, everything else goes up. So transportation goes up to get the goods from on the port to get to the groceries. Then the grocery says, okay, if I'm going to pay 200 kwatas more, I have to pass was to my customers. So they're going to raise the goods in in the grocery by a certain percentage to make back that money and the profit. And that's the cycle, the ugly cycle. And fuel goes up, and this goes up, and public transportation goes up, and everything goes up. So when you see you having to pay $200, 200 kwatas more, understand all the dynamics that is playing out. Why, when you have to do a little travel, you have to pay $15 instead of $10 to get to town, and because everybody's sending their prices up, and because everybody's sending the prices up, the taxi drivers decide, well, I'm paying more for fuel, so my prices have to go up. The customers have to pay more, and that's what's going on. It's an ugly cycle that never stops.
Wow. Ish. So
That
the wars have got everything to do with it, what is going on around the world in terms of currency and the prices of goods and services. People have to
exactly,
sit down. This thing is affecting a lot of people, children, mothers, women, or everyone. It's really, really a sad situation. Yeah, it's really a sad
it's
situation.
a sad situation because people can't afford it. People are already stretched to the limit with the expenses they have for their families. The one thing that is not going up are our salaries. Salaries, the bosses are not giving you a raise, yet to get to work is costing you more. To get home is costing you more. To go to the grocery to buy food is costing you more.
Yeah.
But the one thing
Mm,
that doesn't go up with everything else is your salary, your and my salary. And now
mm,
we either have to find a second job, a third job, or people people go to any lengths they can, even in some cases doing illegal things to make extra money to take care of themselves and their family. These things affects crime locally, crime in the community, and it goes on and goes on. And everybody feels that they have a justifiable reason to do what they have to do. Why? Because I'm paying more for it, so somebody got to pay for it.
yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the situation room, and we are in the studio with myself and Doka. You can send in your text messages on +1678855637009, and we'll be able to read your messages here wherever you are listening us from. This is the situation room and WCN Radio, your only broadcast that brings you the cross-cultural broadcasting across the African continent and the world at large. So we move on, Doc. This afternoon, we're gonna talk about life situations in terms of relationships. I asked you earlier this morning. I don't know if it was afternoon or evening at someone else's time. Um, a difficult question, and I would like you to just talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. So let's talk about it. Let's hear the question again.
So the question was, why is it that the many at many other times, according to the question, many other times that you find a relationship didn't work with this woman, or maybe for some reason you leave this woman, maybe with children or a child, and you go for the other person, and maybe after some years you realize that you're not making progress, but the woman that you left has made progress and she's still single, and you feel the need like you can come back into her life. Why does men want to come back in a woman's life when they see that the woman is making progress and no longer ask them for anything in terms of maybe child support, the damages or anything? Why is it that?
Now you want me to answer the question from the standpoint. The question is very specific. Huh? Your question is from the fact that a man is doing this thing, right? So I'm going to answer it from that perspective. So I want my listeners to understand that I'm answering the question just as the question was posted to me. Because I want to come across bias, but it's a straightforward question. Now, there are two sides of it. There's a female version to it, and there's a male version to it. And I can answer it from both sides, but I'm going to answer it one way. All right. Now, someone is in a relationship, male and female, they have children, whether they're married or they're not married, it's a family, or in some quarters, some people may not look at it as a family because they're not married, but they have a family, or they have a family situation. Male, female, children. And for some reason, whatever the reason might be, the man decides he doesn't want to be part of this relationship anymore. And he decides to leave. Okay? It may be a justifiable reason why he leave. It may be very, very much so unjustified. He may just get fed up, or he met somebody else and he decided, um, Mary seems to be a nicer woman than the one I have, so he left. Okay. He left, the family is hurt, the family is split up, the children are, you know, affected by the fact that daddy is gone. Mommy is either sorry, mommy is devastated, mommy doesn't have what it takes to run the family by herself because two hands clap, as they say. She may be working, she may not be working. Or she may be working and the money that she's making really cannot take care of all the expenses, including the children and all the expenses, education, food, clothes, rent to be paid and all these different things that needs to be addressed. He don't care. He found himself a new sweetheart and he's gone. The sad part about it is that, I remember we having a discussion about this sort of scenario a long time ago in another forum. And one of the guys said, a man and a woman can decide, or a man can decide he doesn't want to be with a woman anymore. I mean, that's his choice. But it doesn't mean that if you're not going to be with the woman that you thought you would have spent the rest of your life with, for whatever reason you decide to leave, that doesn't give you the right to divorce your children. I want to say that again. The fact that you decided not to be in a relationship with a woman anymore does not mean that you divorce your children. These are your children. They came into the world. It's your responsibility as a father to take care of them regardless of what. But unfortunately, a
You,
lot of
you,
statistics show
you,
that men,
have
men hold
I
on.
was going to that question, but you
Hmm?
have already touched on it. I was about to post that question, and you have already touched on it to say whether they let go of the woman or the man. It is their solely responsibility. Whether it's a woman or man, they should not divorce their children because they are theirs. But the question was, why do men want to always come back after they see that the woman they left is doing greater than them?
I'm getting
It's
there.
many
So they
times we
leave.
see this. Yeah, we
Yeah, I'm
barely
getting to
see
that
women.
point.
Yeah,
So they leave, and Mary seems nice and sweet. Mary, the new woman, seems nice and sweet, and she may be younger, she may be prettier, she may have a better shape, and she may have more money, whatever it is they leave for. The truth about it is that my parents always used to tell me the grass always looks greener on the other side. But a lot of times when people think the grass is greener on the other side and it's going to be really great, it turned out to be sour grapes. It's not as sweet as you thought it is. And so a lot of times the idea of being a nice relationship is cut short by it's no different or it's worse. And the person you left after all the struggle they have gone through and probably still going through taking care of these children, um, all the expenses, getting a job, going back to school, all of that kind of stuff, working two jobs to take care of these children that you just decided to uh, abandon. Um, they started to do okay, things started to balance off and they started to do right. Who knows? They may even get to the point where there's a nice man in their life because that happens. There's somebody who comes into their life and may bring something different, a loving guy who takes up the responsibility and start taking care of your children. You start looking back now and realize, my goodness, she's looking good. She's doing all right. She has a car. She lives on the better side of town. She's not, um, like life doesn't seem to be as difficult as it used to be. Your relationship might be going bad or not as good, or you may be disappointed with a new relationship. And all of a sudden, you start having eyes for the woman that you left. What is she supposed to do? Leave everything that she's enjoying to come back to you because you want to lick up, as they say, lick up your vomit? Listen to me. I'm saying this to women, and I'm saying this to women all over the world. I'm a man, and I am not going to agree with any man who does that to their family. Um, and then one.
I saw something that was saying a man would only want to get back to the woman that is saying that they want to complete. They are jealous that the woman is making progress without them, and then he wants to come back and make her stagnant because when he marries her now, she'll be restricted from doing certain things that she has been doing and making herself look attractive. And when she does that, he does that and finish, and then he goes back to his own order worse, like he goes back into flirting again, and she will not give her the respect that she deserves because she'll now be staying with him. Say she has a husband and she cannot be doing certain things like maybe working um, absurd hours or any of that. So this concept was coming from a man who said this is the way men are.
Yeah, and he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. I'm not saying all men are like that. Let me make a distinction here. Every man is not like that, but a lot of men, that's the way they do. And um, now they want to go back to somebody they thought, didn't fit the bill, wasn't successful, wasn't pretty enough. A lot of times women make children and their bodies are different, and then the men don't find them cute and shapely and everything again. The breast might be sagging a little bit or whatever it is. She sacrificed her body to give you children, and now you find that she's not cute anymore and attractive. So you want something cute. So you go on and you're going to find somebody who everything is all tucked in the right place. And you forgot the fact that this woman sacrifices her nice body to give you children, and now you don't want her. Why should she take you back? I don't see any reason for her taking you back because just like you said, a lot of times we have seen women done that without really sitting down and thinking through or getting serious advice about doing something like that. They end up regretting it because the guy comes back in your life and he hasn't changed and he makes your life a living hell. Everything that you have accomplished, um, it starts to undermine all of that because in a lot of times he's jealous of you. He's not coming back because he loves you or wants to take up the mantle and take care of you. He's jealous of what you have. So now he comes back, he wants your money, he wants your this, he wants to control you and all that kind of stuff. And then you realize I made another mistake. This time it's worse now because he's gotten worse. And I don't think a woman should um, consider going back to a man, um, especially leaving her with children who needs his help and needs his support and needs his love as a father and need his care. And you go out there, you're not sending anything, you're not sharing anything, you're not picking up the kids, you're doing nothing for them. They can scarcely make it. And now you want to come back. Sometimes you hear stories about children who've made it eventually after they get grown and become successful. And these same fathers want to come back in their life. Because why? The children have money, they're famous, they've made it well, they drive a nice car and all that kind of stuff. All of a sudden, daddy wants to come back in the picture because my son is doing well or my daughter is doing well. Guess what? I don't think you should come back. Keep going. That's my feeling about it. Straight up, you know, nobody should be treated that way. And if you're treated that way, you should not go back to that. But a lot of times when this level of abuse is done to women,
And
that,
yeah, there was a point again that was raised to say if a man or a child, a woman neglects children, for a man, the punishment that they get is that they live longer on earth to witness how their children will grow up and become successful in order for them to realize and feel the pain of not taking care of their children. Because you, as a father, if you did not take care of children, you'll be failing to even go to your child and say, I need this, I need that, I'm lacking this and that in this area because you were not there for them. But the
yeah,
children will grow up there. So the same goes for women. They say for women, if you neglect a child when you are young, or you forget your children, you throw them away, your punishment is that you come and get married to a very good man, probably in a good home, but you never maybe have children again. I don't know, but someone will say this has been scientifically proven, and they have books that prove so, maybe in the courts of law, because of the cases they have seen that come out of divorce, maybe the fight for child custody cases, when you go into the social and warfare of ministries that talk about and support of children, when you go to file for a child custody, and in case the child has been given custody to the father, they always go to check on how the children are staying. And has been this is the findings that has come out. So the numbers could not really be mentioned as exactly as to how many men have been proved to do that, but they have said it is just the way that nature plays its go. What's your take on that?
Well, I know the scientific proof from the part that men die younger than women. That's scientifically proven. One of the reasons why they say that men die younger than women is because men keep a lot of stress, women generally. Now, let me give you a
Yeah,
story
and
here. Very
when
short
you
story.
get to
Very
the
short
point
story.
that is scientifically proven, even when a man and a woman, for example, a man is HIV positive, you and I, it's an example. We find that one of us gets infected maybe at the same day. Uh, the virus in a woman takes time to come out, to show actually, than that of a man, simply
Well,
because women talk about the women's menstrual periods. They say it removes some days from your system as you women do go through the menstrual periods as compared to men. So the virus would surely show faster in a man than in a woman. They
uh, I,
basically
I'm not a
share
doctor in
those.
that regard, so I
Yeah,
don't know. But I'll tell you this. I'll
that's
tell
what
you
has
this.
been
Let me. Um, I know from personal experience, based on what you said earlier, I can use my mother and father as an example. My dad did not treat my mother well. I grew up seeing that. And it's almost the same case scenario that you described, except that he didn't want to come back. He left us undone and went to live with someone else. That ended up in a divorce, and my mother took care of us single handedly. My dad eventually passed away at 60 something years. My mother today, she's not 100% well, but my mother this year, she'll be 93 and still alive. So, and I've seen this happen time and time again with women who have gone through struggle with a man. And it's just like you say, it's as if God preserve you to see those persons die before you. It may not be exactly that, but I'm just saying. But a lot of times, the person who has been wronged, in this case, as we're talking about it from the female being wronged by the man, she outlives the man. And in my mother's case, my mother to this day has outlived my father by over 30 something years. And she's still
Ah,
around.
wow.
So, yeah. So there's some element of truth in it, based on my experience, what I've seen, and I've seen it in the lives of other people. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, but it's wrong. It's just. As a matter of fact, let me go further to say this. I think that is a crime when a man leaves a woman with children and never look back. I think it's bordering criminality as far as I'm concerned. You cannot bring children into the world and not take care of them. You have to be held accountable. And if you're not taking care of your children, the law should do something about you. You cannot move on having a good life or whatever it is you choose, taking care of another family and probably the woman that you went to, her children, While your children don't have food and basic things to eat, you should be held accountable for it. And every country and government to me should put things in place to make sure that men pay a price when they do something like that to their children.
It's not it's not just men, even women, they should know that there are consequences to their actions. You don't just do certain
Well,
things.
I'm answering it from the question that you asked me, from strictly from a male perspective. I'm
Yeah.
putting the blame here on men. I know that women do the same thing in a lot of cases, but I'm just being very specific right now.
Yeah, I'm also gonna be specific because I'm you and I are here, and you're a male and I'm female, so I'm gonna speak from a woman perspective. Even women actually, there are some women would say she left the child when she was just this young with the father. It goes to show how irresponsible someone may be. You know, a woman is a symbol of life in every child's life. A child who grows up with a father is different from the child who grows up with a mother. So even women need to take care of their own children, their own relationship as well. They also have a law to play. It's not just a man. Sometimes even women act in a way that may chase a man away. And just like you said, it is scientifically proven that men die younger earlier than women because they barely speak out. Even men go through some certain struggles and terrors that other people do not know, and they do not share it. And at the end of the day, when a man makes a problem, maybe a step out and he says, I'm going out, and goes, maybe marries someone else. And then that's when a woman now comes out, he left me, he did that. Meanwhile, she was the one that was pushing the man away. Maybe by her actions, maybe she was nagging, maybe she was not understanding, maybe she wasn't one or two things that a woman would need a man would need in a woman. So each and every one of us has a lot to pray so that we don't come and blame someone else for um, something when something happens. So because it is a very very sensitive one, sometimes men would be really wrong, maybe the victims actually. Men. Yes, doc. Either.
I totally agree with you, and I can give you, which I'm not going to give you, but I can tell you horror stories of men who have gone through nightmarish, hellish situations at the hands of women, because women are capable of doing the very set things that we're talking about here, and worse to men. And women abuse men, they treat them badly, they take advantage of them, and then act as if they are the victims, when in truth, the men were the victims. And, I always tell people any level of abuse should not be tolerated.
Exactly.
Whether it's a male or female, no one should have a right to be taken advantage over the other one. It's absolutely wrong. A man shouldn't put his hands on a woman shouldn't put his hands on a man. Nobody should be doing
Exactly.
that to each other. No one should be doing that to each other. But it happens from a female standpoint, it happens from a male standpoint. Abandon everything to their dad, and the mother is nowhere
Yes.
to be found. And when the
Exactly.
children gets older and bigger and become successful, all of a sudden the mother wants to pop back in their life. And that's just as wrong. It's no different to when a man do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's on both sides. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the situation room with me and the dog. You can send us your messages on any of the topics that we have been discussing. That is on +1678856307009 on any of the things that we have discussed about right here on WCN Radio Africa. So wherever you've been listening us from, this is the situation room, and we continue right about now. We're going to go into the world of sports. Doc, sports. What's happening in the world of sports? We have the Premier League. We have the Africa Cup of Nations.
You should tell me actually. I try to keep up with the politics and everything else. I really need to get into the sports, but a lot of things has been happening in the African World Cup. It's a lot. There's a lot of disappointment and stress on a lot of people, a lot of countries, a lot of coaches. There's been a lot of disappointment. A lot of the big teams got kicked out. I know there was supposed to be some big matches played over the weekend again. Um, and you need to tell me because since after Zambia got booted out, I kind of lost track, and I may hear a thing or two. I know there was this big match coming up between Morocco and who else? Um, but a lot of the
Morocco
big
and South
teams,
Africa.
Morocco and South Africa. What happened with that game? South
So
Africa beat them.
Morocco was beaten by South Africa and Zambian celebrated.
Right. So you see, again, South Africa beating Morocco. Morocco is a force to be reckoned with. And I think everybody is saying now, is it Ivory Coast? They're thinking that Ivory Coast is going to win this championship. Is that the talk right now?
Definitely not. It's not Ivory Coast. We have the quarterfinals going up. So today we are having South Africa take on Nigeria in the first semi-finals, and we're gonna have tomorrow. We're gonna have, is it Monday today? No, it's tomorrow. Actually, on Wednesday and Thursday, we're gonna have the first semi-finals and second semi-finals, which is South Africa versus Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire versus Congo DR. So we are rooting for Congo DR to pull through to the finals, and then we were putting for South Africa to go through to the finals. This will be an interesting encounter because it will be a Southern African region now. Congo DR versus South Africa in the finals.
But
Whichever team
but
wins,
let
South
me ask
Africa
you. Let me
wins.
ask you this.
Zambia
Let me
wins.
ask you this. Did Congo DR really play good football to where they are? How did they get to this point?
Yeah, Congo DR has really put up a very big surprise. They started a game with Zambia by a draw. They went to play against again with Morocco. They drew, and they also played against Tanzania.
In a good situation.
And so we are rooting for them. If South Africa wins the cup, Zambia celebrates. If Congo DR wins the cup, Zambia celebrates. We are with
Yeah,
them.
because everybody is on your side now.
Exactly, that's the thing. So we are rooting for that. I hope South Africa beats Nigeria.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't even bother to ask. I was going to ask you who you did for, but I already heard. So no need to ask.
Exactly. In the Premier League, it's getting more and more interesting because we are seeing that Manchester United has picked up the winning ways from the losing ways. So is Arsenal. Yesterday night won against Liverpool by 3 goals to 1, and Manchester United won West Ham United by 3 goals to 0, and we also Chelsea lose to Bradford United by 4 goals to 2, and it's a whole lot of talk between these clubs. You know how they make noise.
Sally, I have to ask you. You sound like a big footballer.
I'm a journalist. I'm a reporter, so I have to be updated with what is happening around the world, everything that the world is talking about.
All right, Sally's doing her job. She's checking out all the different areas to bring to the Situation Room. And yeah, definitely you are. Well, I know in the area of the sporting area, you're definitely sounding better than I am because I know nothing except I like English football, but I really don't keep up. I think it's a matter of time, to really sit down for the 90 minutes or so and watch a game and watch it consistently to know exactly what's going on. But Soccer is a thing I really like. I know we call it football here in Trinidad and Tobago as well, but the real name is soccer. But I enjoy soccer, so yeah, um, good to know that that's what's going on in the world of sports. What else you have on the table for today?
Right about, I think we're gonna have a song request coming up at 19 hours my time, and that will be 13 your time if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we have a song request by that. And today I want to wish my brother, my son, the son I had before I was even born, Kefas Gift Chanda. I'm wishing you a very, very happy birthday, and know that I love you, I appreciate you, and I cherish you a whole lot. I'm saying this to the entire world. I know that you are listening at this point in time, though you're at work, but I know you are listening because I told you you have to listen because I have a special message for you, and that is that I love you. And I'm gonna sing you a little song before we close the program, which is the Situation Room this afternoon. A little song, sir. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carrie Fast. Happy birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord bless you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. I love you, and you enjoy yourself today on your birthday. May God bless you and add more years into your life. May you grow in grace and in wisdom. Much love and appreciated. Yes, Doc. What lined up for you?
That was cool. That was cool. So, and we just time flies when you have fun. Just have about 20 more minutes before we wind up the situation room here this morning. And I definitely want to thank you for being my co-host, and we want to thank all our listeners for joining us here this morning. If you do have a piece of news that you think that we should know about and you want to share it with us, please join us here on the Situation Room. Get in touch with us. Get in touch with myself or Sally, and get anything to talk about. Feel free to get in touch with us. I will definitely one of our segments. So it was nice being here, and it's a great day here in Trinidad and Tobago. The sun is shining out, and wonderful, wonderful. Too much heat for me, but I still prefer the heat over soggy rain, even though I love rain. And see you guys tomorrow.
Same time, same place. That's WCN Radio Africa. And with love from all